Hey everybody, thank you for joining me real quick. I wanted to prepare something quick, easy, and delicious for dinner tonight, and I'm going to be using the crock pot. Of course, you can use Instapot or a multi-pot, which is a pressure cooker, and you can get things done a lot faster, or you can use a regular saucepan or pot and use it on the stove. But I'm doing the crock pot today, so I hope you enjoy this recipe. Um, And this recipe is something that's good for basically pretty much anybody, unless your doctor told you that you can't have vegetables. You know who you are. But it's going to be a vegetable stew. You know, seasons are changing, the weather is changing, it's starting to get cooler. We're having a lot more cooler days. So I thought I'd do a vegetable stew because that's always a go to when someone is sick or just feeling a little under the weather or when you get home and sometimes you just want that good hot stew. Let's face it. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an entire container of this garden vegetable broth. It's all natural, it's 32 ounces. Somebody might be saying, what if I don't have garden vegetable broth? That's fine. You could you could use chicken broth. You could use water and add like a beef or chicken base or whatever if you want to. If you don't have those things, you can create your own stock with the bones from chicken or whatever else. But to keep it healthy and clean and to stay on the veggie side today, this is the vegetable broth. And like I said, I'm pouring the entire thing into my crock pot. And you might notice that this crock pot is a little shorter than most people's crock pot, maybe. This is like a half size crock pot. It's normally they would be a little taller and a little bit wider, but this is just right for me. And I was really glad when my sister gave me this because, you know, so often we're used to just having large and massive amounts of stuff. But then when you're paring things down and when you don't have a lot of guests in your home or a lot of people to prepare for, you know, sometimes you need to pare down your appliances or what you're cooking with and the dishes that you're using as well. So I've got that in there and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm turning this on low because I can eat it later. Low and slow. If I wanted to turn it up high, it would cook a lot faster, but I'm not in a rush, not really hungry. This is something that normally I probably would start in the morning, especially if I'm going to use a lot of dehydrated stuff so that whenever I get home, the whole place is full of the aroma of the goodness of what's in this pot, and my stomach will be ready to eat, and the food will be ready to eat. So, 32 ounces of vegetable broth. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of dehydrated collard greens. Yes, you know I'll be dehydrating my vegetables. Tossing that right in. Hey, I don't like wasting food. And we know that there's already several food deserts throughout the nation, number one. And then number two, we know that food prices are going up, right? Yeah, they're going up a lot. And they will continue to go up, especially around the holidays. So people that want to prepare for holiday kind of food, you might want to check stuff out now, see if you can get things a little bit here and there early so that you don't have the big upset later. That's number two. Number three, produce prices are going up and there's less available, which is why whenever I have it, I try to take half to keep fresh and take the other half to prepare so that I have it to eat in the winter because I don't like to be out in the snow having to shop if I don't have to. So that's why I've made this a part of my behavior and my habits for years. Okay, so those collard greens are in there. I'm going to add a couple of garlic cloves. You can add more than two. You can chop them if you want to chop them. You can add just one. You can just cut them out completely if you don't feel like you want that. But I like the garlic cloves because it's really good for you. It's good for your kidneys. It's good for your heart. It's good for your cholesterol. And no, I'm not a medical doctor and I am not an attorney. I'm just providing practical advice to you from what I have learned from the American Association of Kidney Patients, and I've also learned from nutritionists and doctors, things that have helped me for my life. So I'm just sharing that with you, but do with it whatever you will. Okay, and I've got a heaping fourth cup of dehydrated onions. Yes, I'm into doing the dehydrating thing, especially with the onions because I like to have my onions all winter long. So add that in there. It's going to be mighty full by the time we're done. One chopped Roma tomato. Those cute ones that are a little bit longer like your thumb. Just one. That's all I need in there. It's a heaping cup, half a cup, but actually this was one carrot. Carrots are always good for you. Unless you start just like consuming too much of them every day, eating and drinking too much carrot juice. I did that at one point. My skin turned kind of orange, kind of like a Oompa Loompa. But we won't go into that story because it was bizarre. That happened. But the carrot juice was good. And again, I know somebody out there is saying, my doctor said, don't eat the carrots. Okay, you don't have to eat the carrots. That's fine. But for my vegetable stew, this is what I'm going to do. And I have celery chopped. There's actually 3 really skinny celery stalks, young ones. So I would say that would be the equivalent of 1 to 2 regular sized celery stalks. Got that all up in there. And this is 1/2 of a really large bell pepper, which I would say it's equivalent to 1 full regular size bell pepper. Cut out the seeds, take that part out, and slice them and dice the rest of it up into nice, healthy sized chunks. Add that in. It's something about when you eat vegetables, you come to life. Especially if, you have them from fresh. And when I'm dehydrating them from fresh foods. It's different from having the canned product. Not saying I'm hating on the canned product because we know as things are changing and times get tough, those canned products are going to be very helpful for people that are in need of that. But if you're able to get fresh, take your fresh, take part of it, flash freeze it, blanch stuff if you got to, dehydrate what you got to, do canning if you're able to. If you're not sure about how to do all of that, keep watching my videos and I will go through those processes again in different videos. My last ingredient that I am adding to this is red curry Thai paste. Now, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know I like it spicy. So, 1/2 of a tablespoon. Because this stuff has some kapow in it, I promise you. And it's just a simple deal. And let it prepare. Let it cook. It's full and hearty, full of vegetables and goodness. When it's done, you could always have some rice that you add with it or have that to the side. You can throw a handful of lentils in there and let them swell up, and that'll give you protein if you're worried about having protein in your food. Um, you could also do TVP, which is a texturized vegetable protein, but there's lots of different ways that you're able to work it and still get the protein and get the things that you need. But keep it on low, let it cook slow. Or if you want it to prepare faster, you can turn it up to high. Add meat if you want to add meat. Add chicken or fish or beef or goat meat or pork or whatever your deal is. But for me, I'm doing the vegetables right now. One of the things about the vegetables is that it's better for your body. And I know we're raised to be like carnivores. We're raised to eat a lot of meat. Many people were raised to eat and consume a lot of meat. But vegetables, there's a noisy vehicle going by. I'm sorry. All kinds of sounds in the background. But vegetables are really, really good for you, really healthy for you. So, and it's easier for someone that has CKD, which is chronic kidney disease, or ESRD, which is end stage renal disease, or diabetes, which usually sometimes combines with the chronic kidney disease or the end stage renal disease. Sometimes those things kind of muddle together. It's a lot easier for the kidneys to process vegetables than it is to process the proteins that come in meat. Uh, the kidneys are kind of like the washing machine. It washes and keeps things clean. It processes things to keep your organs functioning. All things work together for the good. They're just like fitly connected together. So that's what I'm having for dinner tonight. A little bit spicy, just the right amount of spicy, really. I could have put some peppers or something in there, some habaneros or poblanos or whatever, but this is good as it is right there. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're staying on with the 4-month challenge, and I hope things are going well. If you don't see numbers going down on the scale, don't worry about it. That doesn't always have to happen. Yes, it's nice to see numbers going down on the scale, but the challenge is more about you taking care of you, being fit. Um, and you'll notice when you change the way you eat and you change what you put in your body, you will notice improvement in your health. You will notice that you have more energy and that your brain is really more alert and focused and you have more stamina. You're just going to notice it. Got any questions or comments? Please put them down in the comment section below. And I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up because that makes the YouTube algorithm happy, which makes me happy because then they can share the video out with more people. Also, if you know someone that's going through CKD, ESER, or diabetes, dealing with diabetes, or if they're on dialysis or whatever, please feel free to share these videos with them. I am writing a book, and the book will be coming out very soon about those types of situations and things that people need to know and how to have discussion with their doctors. So, thank you for joining me. Please share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question, give a suggestion. I look forward to seeing you again soon.